स्पॉटलाइट में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट अमीता। Join me weekly as I talk to inspiring guests who will share their success stories. आज हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में है the current president and CEO of ICICI Bank Canada. He is also an active participant in many not-for-profit organizations. As a result of his contributions to Canada, he received the 2012 Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Medal. It's my pleasure to welcome to our studio Mr. Sriram Iyer. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me here.
Congratulations on all your achievements. It's actually a matter of pride for us to have a South Asian leader like yourself in mainstream Canada. And in fact, you even received the prestigious Canada's Top 40 Under 40 award in 2008, I believe.
That's right.
So I'm very excited to find out a lot about you. But first of all, could you enlighten our viewers about where you were brought up and your education?
Sure. Again, thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I watched your previous shows and I think you do a very good job.
Thank you.
In terms of my personal life, I was born and brought up in India. My father was working for the central government, so it was a transferable job. He's worked in Pune, Rajkot. Actually, that's where I was born, Rajkot. And then eventually they settled down in Chennai, in South India. So most of my schooling and upbringing was in Chennai. I don't remember the Gujarat part because I was too young. I did my high school, till high school in Chennai. And after that, I did my engineering from National Institute of Technology in Allahabad. Studied mechanical engineering there. And after my engineering, I worked for 3 years with Tata Motors in Jamshedpur, Bihar. Now it's, I think, Jharkhand. And after my engineering job, I did my MBA from Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore. And then I joined ICICI Bank.
Nice. So you joined ICICI Bank in Bangalore or?
No, I joined, I was recruited in campus in Bangalore, but I joined in Bombay.
Okay. And how long were you in Bombay for before you moved to North America?
So I was in Bombay for about 3.5 years, from 1996 to about 1999. And then they transferred me to Chennai. I was in Chennai until 2003. So altogether about 7 years in India. And then I came to Canada in 2003.
Is that because they had you transferred to North America, or you decided, okay, that's where I'm going to take my operations with ICICI?
No, it's during that time, lots of exciting things were happening in our bank in India. We had a new CEO who had come in 1996. He had this vision of starting international operations. Essentially to move to areas where to serve Indians who are moving outside, as well as to ensure that we act as a facilitator for trade between that country and India. So in that context, Canada was chosen. And once the bank decided to start operations in Canada, they identified a core team, and I was lucky to be part of the core team.
That's nice. Now, what do you say about ICICI Canada as compared to some of the other banks that also want to bring, a trade here to North America for Indians coming to North America? What would you say is the difference with ICICI Bank Canada?
No, each bank has its own strategy. Some banks cater only to their own customers. We have seen that with a lot of banks from Europe, which were there in Canada in early 2000. They were only focused on serving their own community. That's a model that they chose to adopt. We have chosen to adopt a slightly broader model. We obviously, would love to serve all the Indo-Canadians here, but we also want to serve the mainstream Canadians. So we have a kind of a hybrid model.
Nice.
Where we have a different strategy for serving the ethnic community as well as mainstream community.
Wow. So now, do you think your upbringing in India has made a difference as to the direction you have taken with ICICI Bank?
I guess the answer is yes. I think everybody gets influenced by what happens in their childhood. I grew up in a middle-class family. Value for money was very important for me. And we grew up in a in an era where customer service was not a priority in India because there was limited choices, limited offerings. So those are all, you can learn positive things and negative things from your experience. So it's how you aggregate those things and put them to actual practice is what is the key. So I guess, yes, my childhood has influenced a lot in terms of what I do here.
Very well said. And we know that ICICI Bank is lucky to have you. It's taken amazing directions, and we're going to find out more about that. Spotlight में फिर से आपका स्वागत है. We are talking to Mr. Sriram Iyer. So, Mr. Iyer, under your direction, the ICICI Bank has received recognition from the Canadian Helen Keller Centre and also for the Canadian Foundation for Physically Disabled Persons. That's just amazing. What inspires you to have a business organization like ICICI get involved with such causes?
I think the credit goes to the bank itself. It's in the bank's DNA to actually give back to the people whom we are serving. In India, we run a body called ICICI Foundation, which is mainly tasked with ensuring that disadvantaged people are, given an opportunity to come up in life and participate in the mainstream. So we have taken the same philosophy here in Canada. We have chosen the theme of disability in Canada. So we support, like you said, the Canadian Helen Keller Foundation. We have been a running sponsor for the past 7-8 years. We support the Canadian Foundation of Physically Disabled Persons. We support the Canadian National Institute of Blind. We support many organizations like this. We are an active volunteer organization for United Way. We participate in the Cancer Walk for the Princess Margaret Hospital. So anything where we can make a positive contribution to the community, I think we give the opportunity to our employees. And our employees also are more than welcome to actually participate in these kind of events. We participated in the CN Tower climb.
Nice.
In my opinion, we accomplished two things. One is giving back to the community. Second is it creates a motivation and kind of a bonding amongst employees that they're working for an organization that is caring about people.
Nice, love it. Bring the team together and then giving back to the community.
Absolutely.
So if I'm correct, mainly you, to help these organizations, you put up or you support fundraising events. Is that correct?
We do both. We sponsor some events,
okay,
and we also support fundraising events.
And do you have any upcoming projects that the viewers can be made aware of?
Well, actually, the Princess Margaret Cancer Walk is happening in September. It's a full-day walk. It's about 33 kilometers walk, and our bank is. I'm one of the honorary co-chairs, and I think there is a big delegation from our bank which is going to be walking.
Amazing, health, fitness, physical and mental, and giving back to the community.
True.
Now, beyond ICICI, you're also involved in many other business organizations. On a personal level, you give back to the community. So tell us a little bit more about those.
So yes, I serve in 3 boards. I'm not allowed to serve in boards which actually pay me. So I can only choose not-for-profit boards, which actually suits me fine.
And that's amazing. You're giving back to the community.
Absolutely. And I learn also. It's both ways. That's important for me as a person, to keep learning all the time. Second is, by representing these organizations, I'm promoting our bank's brand, which is also part of my job, and it's important that I do it. Thirdly, in my own way, I'm able to influence certain decisions and things, which I believe helps both Canada and India. So these 3 objectives actually get accomplished by doing all this.
Nice. So it's also self-improvement in a way.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Yeah. So what would you tell our viewers? There are people who say, oh, I have a lot to do, giving back to the community is the last thing I can take care of. But you, with a lot on your plate, you're giving back to the community. So what would you tell our viewers? Is it possible to make time for that community? How would you do it?
Absolutely. I think they should make time. In this country, I've seen that children from a young age are taught to give back, and that's very good. That's something that was not happening in India when I was studying there. So that's extreme. That's very good. I think all of us have enough time to give back to the community. You can give back to the community either by writing a check or by donating your time. Even a small thing actually would go a long way. First of all, when you start giving back to the community, it makes you feel very good. You become a happy person. I think that's very important. And once you get into the habit, it's very hard to wean away from it. You know, you start. It's part of your daily routine then.
It's like a good addiction.
Absolutely.
So it's good karma,
yes,
which will come back to you for yourself and for the community and also for our future generations, I believe.
Very true.
Very inspirational talking to you, but we have more to talk about. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to Mr. Sriram Iyer, the current president and CEO of ICICI Bank Canada. So we were talking about why it's important to give back to the community. You on a personal level do that, and under your direction now ICICI Bank is also doing the same. Coming back to ICICI Bank on an operational level, tell us a little bit more. You told us why it's different from probably other banks given the hybrid model, but tell us about what are been the achievements of ICICI Bank over the last little while under your direction.
We are about a $6 billion bank in Canada. We started operations in 2003 and we have gradually grown to this level and will continue to grow. We have branches in Toronto, Calgary and Vancouver. Our model is, again, like I told you, it's designed to serve both the Indo-Canadian population as well as the mainstream population. We have what I call as a click and a brick model. So the branches are there to serve the community if they want to do branch banking. And we also have an effective online model where you can actually open accounts, transact with us without ever coming to the branch or seeing any of the employees face to face.
Wow.
So that model has given us a lot of traction. So we're able to attract customers from different parts of Canada. We have customers even in Nunavut, Yukon,
wow,
and Quebec, where we don't have a physical footprint, but customers find it easy to bank with us. We are able to offer best-in-class rates, deposit rates to customers, mainly because we have kept our cost of operations quite lean. The savings that we have by saving in operations, we're able to pass on this benefit to customers in terms of higher rates.
Nice.
We started our mortgage business about 5 years ago, and today we have a book of about $3 billion of mortgages. We fund approximately about $100 million of new mortgages every month, which means obviously we're looking at more files than $100 million. And again, mortgage customers are spread across Canada. We have customers in every province actually. That's a growing business. Another part of our business which is very important for us is corporate lending. We lend to large companies in Canada, again spread across every province. We have an oil and gas team in Calgary. We have a big team in Toronto which actually looks at the full eastern market. We cover Quebec, we cover Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and any company which has any interest in India find it valuable to bank with us. And we are able to add value to them for their operations in India or anywhere in South Asia, for example. So that's our business model, and we have about 210 extremely motivated employees working for us who make all this possible.
Nice. I love the fact that you're maximizing the potential from within the company, maximizing on your team, but you're also tapping into the resources that's available naturally within the area that you're operating in, like, the natural resources. And I think that goes to say that the organization is like a full-on teamwork, and the way you're giving credit to your team members too. So that's actually a sign of a very good leader, I must say. Now, I know, you're a South Asian leader today in mainstream Canada, and we all look at you and say, wow, what an amazing feat. But I have to ask you, were there any personal or cultural obstacles to get to the point that you are today?
I don't think I faced any cultural obstacles the way you put it, but I think for anybody to be successful, and I would be the last person to call myself successful, but I'd say for anybody to be successful, I think you have to remember 2-3 things. One is leadership is about appropriating failures and distributing success. So when you are successful, you have to give credit to everybody. I'm sitting in this chair because of my team, not because of anything else what I did actually. I mean that. Hard work, commitment, and a little bit of risk taking is important. In my own example, I would say that when I was offered to come to Toronto, frankly, I didn't even know where Toronto was, but I said yes, because I knew that there was some kind of a door opening for me and I should take full advantage of it.
And you trusted, I guess, your team.
I trusted my boss in India who chose me for this role, and I knew that they have chosen me for a particular reason. So I didn't even think twice before I said yes. It was a big move for us. My wife was working. I was settled in India. My parents were there. Her parents were there. So it was a big decision, but I just took it just like that. Sometimes when you take, and I call that a little bit of risk taking, you have to take some risks to be successful. There is no reward without risk.
There you have it, viewers. Yeah, because we hear a lot of people come here, struggle, and they think they're on their own and they are the only ones struggling. But I love the fact that you say that risk taking is part of any person's journey to success.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, there's no success without failing at times. You fall down and then move ahead a couple more steps.
Absolutely.
So very well said. So everybody, you have challenges, but like Mr. Iyer put it, you just have to work with it and be motivated and be persistent. Now I have to come back to the fact that beyond being a senior executive, beyond being that person giving back to the community, you have a family. Like you mentioned, you came here with your wife. I wonder, with a lot on your plate, do you get time for yourself, for your family, for any hobbies?
Whatever I am today is because of the family. They have sacrificed a lot in terms of my time. They understand my work pressures. We are a very close-knit family. We just have one child, a son who's 15 and a half years old now. And when there is work, they give me that space to ensure that I'm not stressed even more somewhere else. From my side, I make sure that I have enough time to spend with them. So weekends are precious. We do some community work together sometimes. We go out on short trips. We try to take vacations as much as possible. Even if it's like 1 or 2 days, it's fine. It's like family bonding exercise. So family is very important. And I'm trying to inculcate values in my son, what I learned from my elders.
Very well put. I like the term you used, they give you space. And I feel like a lot of us in the South Asian community don't know that if you want to put it, the word or what that means. So why is it important, even though, South Asian families can be extended families? We have a lot of people who take those extended families, come here. Some become nuclear families here. But that extended family system sometimes doesn't work here because people talk about needing their space. Why do you think each individual in a family needs that space once in a while?
I think having a little bit of space to yourself is important because it brings out your creative juices when you are able to introspect and think what you did right and what you did wrong. I think having a little bit of space is important. By that I don't mean that going off to Himalayas to meditate. It's not like that. It's just that
go become be a sage. Ashram.
And my wife knows when I need that space, and I too know that when she needs a space. I mean, it's a good way of understanding each other.
And when you say you're instilling the same values in your son, I have to ask, as a South Asian parent, but it doesn't sound like you're completely that conservative parent, but as a South Asian parent, do you have expectations from your sons, or you're going to instill your values and then let him pave his own way to success?
Well, pretty much we have given him a free hand to pave his own way. At the same time, obviously, I'll be very happy if he becomes successful. So we have told him what is out there in the world, and he has to choose. It's up to him to choose what he wants to do.
Very well said. So you have given us a lot of inspiration today. You have talked to our viewers. I was wondering if you had a word of advice for people like yourself who may have come to Canada and they are struggling. If there's any word of advice or any direction they can take or find help somewhere, any kind of word of advice you could give to them?
I think we already touched upon it a little bit, but I think persistence is very important. You should never give up. I have found people struggle when they come here from India or from any other part of the world, because when you immigrate and come to Canada, sadly, some of the degrees that you've earned outside this North America is considered not valid to start with. Having said that, I've always seen immigrants put in 100% of their efforts to do whatever job they get. In 3 to 5 years, I've always seen them better off than what they were back in India. So the struggle is only for the first maybe 1 or 2 years. During that time, it's a very trying time, and I would urge them not to give up, be focused on the goals and objectives, and just do it.
There you go. And finally, one question. You already told us about ICICI Bank being that internet based. You don't have to come face to face to start any dealings with the bank. So if you could tell the viewers about a website they can go to find out more about the ICICI Bank or how to get associated with it, that would be great.
Sure, yeah. We have a website, ICICIBank.ca. That's the bank's website in Canada. And our parent bank's website is ICICIBank.com. You can go to any of this website and switch easily from one to other. And we have a toll-free number, 1-888-ICICI for you. You can call us, go on the website, you can visit our branches, you can write to me, various channels to communicate to the bank.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, Mr. Sriram Iyer, for taking the time out of your busy schedule and coming and talking to us and inspiring us.
My pleasure, thank you.
We wish you all the best with all the upcoming projects.
Thank you so much.
तो ये थे मिस्टर श्रीराम आयर जिन्होंने हमें एहसास दिलाया है कि we can make a difference globally even if we pursue our own field of work. It's all about the passion, the determination, the persistence, and hard work. Well, that's a wrap for this week. Continue to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and write to me at VJ Amitha spotlight@gmail.com. We will continue to bring you inspiring guests who will share their success stories. Until next week, this is Amitha signing off, encouraging you to work towards self-improvement and towards a difference in your community.